What's going on, Dungeon Dwellers? Welcome back to Dave's Dungeon and our annual horror movie review, now and forever probably known as Terrortober. Learned some things about the word spook and spooky that made me not feel so good, and we probably won't be calling it Spooktober anymore. But where have I been? First things first. Some of you probably already going, "Hey Dave, where are the videos? Where are our recommendations?" And apologies, I've been a little busy. As I told you last year, I was working on something. As of April this year, as of my birthday, it is finished. How do I say this? It's at least finished for now. Because the draft 0 of my first book in a series is finally done. It is completed. It's all written out, handwritten. Now I got to do all the typing. So finished that up in April, and now I'm on like a little bit of a hiatus from that because 7 years of constant writing every day will break things and cause problems. So I took a little bit of time off. I didn't watch as many horror movies this year because the work got in the way. It kind of meant I spent a lot more time in my own world and not so much time in other people's. So forgive me. I actually won't be doing a whole Spooktober this year. This is the only video you're getting because I only got a few things to recommend. So just stick with me. I'm sorry. I have a real large horror movie backlog, okay? Like, this is the largest my backlog has ever gotten. But it was for a good cause because now I get to spend the rest of the year. I got to give myself a birthday gift first, and then I get to spend the rest of the year typing this thing all the way out and actually achieving my first novel. Like, can't ask for more than that. But it did sadly mean that part of Spooktober had to fall on the back burner. But that's not to say I didn't watch any horror movies. No. David without horror movies is a grumpy kid. Okay, so I do have at least 5 recommendations for you this year. Yes, we're doing 5. And to start it off, my first one is going to be the #1 pick for this year. If you watch no other horror movie, it's going to be Sinners. Ryan Coogler is quickly building himself the same sort of like castle for horror royalty that Jordan Peele built. And I gotta say, Michael B. Jordan gives a masterful performance. And then gives a masterful performance. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Ryan does things that us movie viewers love. He's playing with aspect ratio. And you gotta watch it very carefully for when he changes from tight, narrow 4:3 to and you see that frame move, you watch it. And if you have already seen it, go back and watch it again with, and I know this is like film nerd stuff, but go back and watch some of the aspect ratio changes throughout the movie, and you will just be floored going, whoa, he did that with just camera work. Definitely worth your time. Haley Steinfeld, magnificent. You all get passing grades. Everybody in this movie. I mean, it's top-notch acting. It's pulling in historical references. It's pulling in so much of the sort of like, it's pulling in a lot of the feel of the South. Let's just put it that way. A lot of the feel of the South. But that said, it's an A+. Definitely worth your time. It's available on HBO right now, or it might still be available in theaters. I doubt it. It's maybe a little too late for that. Movie #2, it's got to be Heart Eyes. And I know what you're thinking. This is a Josh Rubin movie. It's his, I think it's his second. There's another movie called Werewolves Within that you gotta go see. It makes a good double feature with Hard Eyes. But you know how I feel about horror comedy. Yeah, we've talked about this a little bit, but for those of you who don't, it's a little bit of a, I feel like these are opposing forces, because for everything you make comedic, it's no longer horrifying. And for everything that you make horrifying, it's no longer funny. So I've always felt like a horror comedy where these two flavors that are competing and causing a problem for one another. And so I always get the sense in a horror comedy that if you do the horror justice, you don't do the comedy justice, and if you do the comedy justice, you aren't fulfilling the horror. Then you get Heart Eyes, and I have to say, mwah, this is how horror comedy should be done. It doesn't pull any punches with the horrific. It absolutely plays in that realm exactly the way I want it to, while at the same time, for those of you who need a comedic beat, it absolutely gives you that, and the comedy kind of comes into the sort of awfulness of the horror in a very fun way. So definitely check out Josh Rubin's Hard Eyes. The casting, I don't remember if there was anybody in the film. I think David Dashmalkian was in it. I might be wrong. No. Again, the casting was fantastic, if a little unknown. These are relatively junior actors, but still did a good job. Still did a very good job. Wait, no, the main girl is somebody. I recognize her from a large list of movies. Forgive me. But again, I didn't watch that much this year, and I watched that early on in February when it came out, so the details are a little fuzzy. Number 3, I have to say, this one, I went into it with just sort of flat expectations, like you do with most things, and I came out pleasantly surprised. Number 3 is Dangerous Animals. This is one I just watched recently. This is a Jai Courtney and some other no-name or lesser-known actors that I've never heard of playing in a shark attack movie. And it's not the same shark attack movies we've always seen. I mean, 3-headed shark attack, 5-headed shark attack. I've watched sand sharks. I've watched sharks on the moon, sharks out of the moon. I've watched a lot of shark movies. This was definitely a refreshing take on what is the shark attack fear of the shark animal movie that we are so inundated with. Jai Courtney makes this a fun, amazing movie from the start to finish. Like, from the intro, this movie fucks. Okay, it fucks hard. And it don't pull no punches. It is throwing the subtext right into the context. It is playing real tight with the actual day-to-day nuances of the situation, and it's a hard look into whether we're good people or not, and whether we're not, really not, and I gotta say, really good work on the cinematography. Like, those shots of the sharks are just breathtaking. They're breathtaking. If you're a shark fan, if you like the animal at all, if you've watched Shark Week even once, this one's for you. Movie 4. I don't know if I've ever brought you this movie series before, and I really hesitated to even bring it to you. But this one is going to be Terrifier 3. And I know what you're thinking. Okay, Dave, Terrifier 1 was a movie that you said you couldn't recommend. I've gone back on that a little bit. You can watch Terrifier. It's fine. It's good. Terrifier 2 is like pushing the limits of what I think is watchable. But at the same time, we've seen worse. I lived through the Saw series. I lived through Hostels and, Wolf Creek and, Wrong Turn and so many different other just bad movies. Was Wrong Turn even that raunchy? Let's just switch that out for Cabin in the Woods. We've seen like levels to this thing. But Damien Leone in the Terrifier series are pushing some boundaries here. Terrifier 3 is that good old horror Christmas story. Wink, wink, going back to my older video. Since I don't have a lot of videos this season, maybe you'll go back and watch that one. Maybe you'll go back and revisit Horror Christmas Time and you'll watch Terrifier 3. And I gotta say, Damien is doing such a good job. He's doing such a good job that it's like, I'm excited to see where Terrifier 4 goes. I'm excited to see where this journey of Sienna will finish. Rest in peace, little bro. No spoilers. Shh. But I really feel like Damien is keeping the thread here fairly tight. The storytelling of this, very good. The effects, oh no. We're reaching some practical next levels, okay? Practical next levels. It's real good work. And for my 5th recommendation, the last hard, you need to see this, isn't like our normal ones and isn't like our others. This one is the Thursday Murder Club. Now, I know what you're thinking, Dave. Me typically, don't give Netflix a lot of leniency when it comes to their horror department. Seeing I found Zoolander in the horror section again, I wonder why. But, the writer of the book series did a fantastic job. And I've heard about these books before I ever saw the movie, okay? My wife loves the book series. There are 3, 4, fourth one's coming out. Maybe 5th one. It's 4 or 5. I'm not sure yet. But there's a whole book series around this thing. And I gotta say, you get some magnificent performances out of some rather, dated older actors. But this one has a body count. Like, for a mystery, normally there's like 1, maybe 2 murders. This one has a body count. The Thursday Murder Club is like fun and whimsical at times, and then you're like, oh yeah, right, there was a body. There was a murder. And it's like, oof. Oh boy, I forgot about that part. So it's rather playful, it's rather sort of fun, and it's just really worth your time. But that being said, those are my 5 hard recommendations. Now, I've heard a lot, I've stayed in the circles, I stayed listening to other reviews. There are several people who recommended movies to me, and I just didn't have time or the wherewithal to get to them. Sorry, I'm not made out of money. I can't go just purchase all these films and buy them and watch them just willy-nilly. There's a few on my list still to get to this year, and that's going to be in a coming soon. But notably, I have a few recommendations for people who are still looking for horror movies if these 5 didn't work out for you. First off is Weapons. I hear really good things, only few mixed reviews. It's a little bit of a social commentary, so you gotta, if that's not your sort of thing, and if the world kind of right now is not the time for that, fair, skip it. But I've heard really good things about Weapons. Smile 2, several of you recommended it, and I've seen the first one. I really kind of thought the first one was pretty good, so I'm excited to see where Smile 2 goes. I just haven't had time to get to it. Heretic, another one that I've heard several people recommend, along with 28 days or 28 years later, but I haven't had the wherewithal to get to it yet. Just one of those movies that's real talky, and I'm a little bit out of the talking realm right now. Kind of been doing a lot of work in dialogue, so I need a movie that's more action oriented. Then The Monkey, I just haven't had time to get out to a theater or time to get to rent it or buy a copy of it, so eventually I will put The Monkey in my eyeballs. It reminds me of an older movie. I think it's called Monkey Shines. But this is like a throwback almost of an older sort of thing that's like a monkey's paw, or at least that's what it seems like. But I'm again, I haven't seen it yet. I need to get to it. And then there was, and I gotta say, this is an honorable mention. You could go see this movie. It's not that bad. It's just actually rather good. Last Voyage of the Demeter. Had a lot of fun with that movie. Not so much fun with Nosferatu this year. I can go back and watch the black and white Nosferatu. The remake wasn't necessarily what I wanted. It was fine. It was fine. But the Last Voyage of the Demeter, on the other hand, this is rather well done. I did get a chance to see it, but it feels weird making one movie review for one film that I saw, whereas, I got like 6 of them. But we've also got a lot that hasn't necessarily come out yet. First things last. Okay. Coming soon, October 17th, Black Phone 2. I am so excited for this film. Okay? I am so excited for this film. If you don't think I'm going to find time for it, you're wrong. You're wrong. We're going to see that one. Okay? Black Phone 1 was phenomenal. If you haven't seen Black Phone 1, go, shoot, get out of here and watch it. You have a 6th film I'm recommending to you right now. But Black Phone 2 comes out October 17th. Definitely get your tickets. Definitely get ready to go see that one. It's only in 2 days. 2 days. And then we have just recently released VHS Halloween. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, David, what's the VHS series? You've never talked about it. You've never recommended it. It's like Terrifier, and it's a bit like Sinister. It's a bit like Terrifier in that these are kind of hard to watch. These are for expert level horror viewer only. You must be this tall to ride. Because these things go places. And it's a bit like Sinister in that it came out the same year. I do believe VHS came out first, October 5th versus October 12th, 2012. And it's a found footage style in that they find footage. Not just that it's VHS quality footage or home video footage, but it's also found. They find this footage. But the difference is, instead of having a paranormal, and it still has a little bit of a paranormal gist, instead of having a vengeful ghost, this one has sort of a whodunit / where did this come from vibe. No Bagul overarching in VHS, where VHS or where Sinister is like, there's this thing doing this, that's this entity that, wants really, really messed up home videos. But VHS follows these 4 criminals who break into this place, who are hired to find a VHS tape. They get there and they realize there are hundreds of tapes. There are a ton of these tapes. There's like a room full of them, and the only way to find the tape they're looking for is by watching them. And we won't spoil more than that. But VHS came out in 2012, and then there have been, count it, 8 sequels. There was VHS, VHS 2, VHS Viral, VHS 95, VHS 99, VHS 85, VHS Beyond, and now VHS Halloween. So if you're into like the found footage genre, there are a ton of these films, and you need to put them in your eyeballs. It's definitely got that home movies handheld recorder kind of feel. And I believe most of them were made by Shudder, including this newest one. I think 1 and 2 were sort of their own independent thing, but I think by like 3 or 4, don't quote me on that, maybe go look it up, but by like 3 or 4, they were on Shudder, and they should be like Shudder originals. I know the newest one is. I really recommend this series because it's sort of like the REC series. Again, don't make me explain the REC series. You need to go see that if you haven't, and all of them are on Shudder right now. If you can't tell which one's winning the Halloween wars right now, Shudder. Go get your Shudder subscriptions right now. I definitely got to go see Frankenstein. I believe that's coming out the 17th. I don't know exactly when that one's going to be in large theaters, but eventually I'm going to go see it. There's another movie that I heard of recently that sounds good. It's a movie called Good Boy. It's a horror movie from a dog's perspective. Consider me intrigued. Consider it's in theaters now. I don't know if I'll get it in theaters or if it'll be like video on demand. We'll see how that works out. We'll see if I find a copy of it somewhere. And the last one, October 30th, is Hell House LLC Lineage. Now, this is the final one in the series. And I'm not going to recommend 8254 Shred to you. That was something put out by the same movie production team. Not my taste. Not my cup of tea. Sort of does a what a twist, sort of folklore, sort of ghost story, 8254 Shred. But it's so, like, meh. It wasn't a fun time. I didn't enjoy it. I don't want to see more. But I am interested in closing out the Hell House series. Like, that's going to be good. That's going to be worth everyone's time. Especially seeing, I really liked the first 3. 4 was okay. 4 was a little bit of a different speed, and we moved location, so it sort of changed things up for me a little bit and where I place it, but it wasn't bad. So I'm interested to see how Carmichael and the old Abaddon and this whole town all connect to one another, because it's been so long since we started this journey and how all of this sort of came to pass. But that being said, it was a bit of a lighter year. It was a bit of a not as much, and look, there are tons more horror movies out there that are being released this year. There's like Vicious just recently got released on like Paramount Plus, but again, watch it if you want. But I'll be doing more videos in the future. When I have videos to do, when I have recommendations to bring you, I will bring them to you. I I just didn't want to do a history of vampires video this year. That was my big homework video, and there are so many vampire movies out there that need to be reviewed, and it's like, that's like a lot of work, and I don't know I'm prepared for like a side project right now. Because what's next for me? I'm finishing the book. I'm gonna finish it, and hopefully next year, by this time you're talking to me, I'll have something to hold right about here and be like, I did it! I did it! But I think that's gonna do it for this video. Let's keep it short and sweet and to the point. I hope you have a good, horrific holiday season. I hope you enjoy your Halloweens, and I hope to see you around the bonfire next time. But until then, be good to one another, stay safe, bye-bye.